Hey guys, in this video I thought I would do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about the countries in Southeast Asia, some that are opening, some that are open, and plans for some of the countries in the future on what they might do. Stick around. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go through the list of countries over here in Asia. If I've missed one, it's probably because I thought it was not high up on the list of countries where people want to visit. But the first up is Brunei. Now, Brunei currently is open for essential travel only. Things like nationals, permanent residents, green card holders. So right now, Brunei doesn't have anything out saying when they will open, when are they looking to open. There really isn't a whole lot of information about Brunei right now. So just a quick mention of Brunei. Now, Cambodia, actually, there's a lot of people interested in Cambodia, and for good reason. Dating is good, cost of living is low. It is a beautiful country. The food's a little better than the Philippines with more of a Thai type of a mix. But Cambodia now might open. Now, this is for fully vaccinated international travels. And they say around January 16th, 2022 is what the government is saying. Even possibly as early as October, November. One of the top guys there said that we believe that the reopening of receiving tourists will help restore tourism as soon as possible. We can no longer procrastinate. All businesses have been idling almost for 2 years, making it very cumbersome for them to recover. So right now you can get in as a diplomat, official, and business travelers. Now you can contact the country and maybe you can get in on a business visa. I don't know. That is what it's looking like right now. Now, entry requirements, this is early on. We don't know what they might change to, but they're saying you would have to have a COVID-19 test taken no more than 72 hours before arrival. Proof that you have health insurance with coverage of at least 50,000 US dollars. By the way, travel insurance is listed down below in my link, and I believe it's 250,000 plus covers COVID and even quarantine costs. You have to agree to quarantine for 2 weeks upon arrival at a hotel or government facility. And a deposit of US $2,000 to cover unexpected expenses related to biosafety measures. Again, will this change when they do officially open to fully vaccinated? Probably. I can't imagine they're going to keep that $2,000 for unexpected expenses. I can't imagine a lot of people would even sign up for that when they have a better option of Thailand next door. I don't know how many people are interested in China, but they are in the middle of talks with multiple countries, and it's apparently you're going to have 2 doses of the Chinese vaccine. They're specifically stating the Chinese vaccine. They don't want the Pfizer or the Moderna or whatever. They are saying that you would have to bring a negative COVID-19 test, undergo a 14 to 21 day quarantine. If you are on a work visa or something like that, I guess my understanding is you can get into China. I know somebody who has went over there recently for teaching. Again, I'm not sure that would be the place where I would want to be at this point in time. Hong Kong, nationals, residents returning from China, Taiwan, Macau, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, and another handful of low-risk countries will be allowed under a new 7-day quarantine scheme. So no news on Hong Kong really fully reopening at this point. India, of course, is reopening. Apparently they could open up for international tourism by October 15th. So right now, India is currently open to 28 countries through travel bubbles. 5,000 tourist visa free will be issued at no cost as part of the strategy to boost the airline and tourism sectors. So that's India. You have to agree to a 7-day quarantine. Indonesia reopening. Now, currently you can get into Indonesia on a business visa. You can apply going online. You can find a service in Indonesia that will help supply that. You don't even really have to be on any type of business, but they will help you get in. Resort Island of Bali is scheduled to reopen for tourism on October 14th, and that was confirmed this week. It'll be a gradual reopen First countries allowed to come back will be Russia, China, New Zealand, Japan, and some cities like Dubai. Right now, restaurants, malls, places like that have limited capacity. But if you are a business, if you want to get a business visa, you can get in for all nationalities right now. You need visa, health certificate from the country of origin, negative PCR test, agree to health screenings, and self-isolation for 14 days if not infected. So that's self-quarantine. Japan reopening. Right now, if you can get into Japan if you are a foreign national from a non-banned country, diplomatic, work, or study visas, you could check with the Japanese embassy to be able to get in. Maldives is reopening. Maldives was open to all countries, but since the islands are going through a severe spike, they have halted flights from India and other South Asian countries till further notice. But the Maldives is open for tourism. Laos is not welcoming foreign tourists just yet. The only way you could get into Laos at this point is you have to request a special permit you have to get a special permit from the Laos government explaining that it's a type of an emergency that forces you to travel there. So I don't really see that happening. Malaysia has stated that they are going to reopen. They said they will open as soon as the adult vaccination reaches 90%, which is expected to happen around December 1st. So in a first stage, Malaysia is going to open Langkawi for domestic tourism, which is, it's a positive sign for international reopening. And Malaysia Airlines, they've also introduced a brand new digital travel health pass to make travel to the country easier for locals and visitors. Now, there will be a link down below updating on some of these countries. Now, Myanmar is currently closed to all travelers. It's probably going to remain so because just of the military has overthrown the elected government and declared a state of emergency for a year. So I wouldn't count on that opening up. Nepal is apparently reopening. U.S. visitors, you can obtain a tourist visa from diplomatic mission abroad or obtain a pre-approval recommendation from the concerned ministry for ensuing their on-arrival visa. Pakistan reopening. I'm not going to mention too much about Pakistan. That leads us to the Philippines. Now, Philippines is not open for tourism. The president has decided to go ahead and permit returning nationals, people visiting for essential reasons from 57 low-risk countries to enter the territory under a reduced 7-day quarantine. And now it's actually 5 days, and then they can finish up their quarantine at their home. So that's a huge step. It's a huge step that it's taken place. The president also mentioned that he wanted to reopen before election. So we'll have to see what happens. They have talked about bubble tourism as well. Singapore also reopening. They have eased entry restrictions for visitors from Germany, Brunei, Hong Kong, and Macau. Right now we don't know. South Korea is reopening. It's open to tourists right now with restrictions, but it's also negotiating travel bubbles with a bunch of different Asian countries as well. Sri Lanka is opening. It actually opened on June 1st. Then it had a temporarily close again due to a surge in cases, but it's open again. And Taiwan opening. Taiwan opened its first travel bubble with one country. They haven't talked about when they might open again, but they are. Thailand right now is probably the best option. Thailand opened up, the resort island of Phuket on July 1 and 9 other Thai islands from August 1. And as of November 1, they will lift the quarantine restrictions in Bangkok and 9 other regions. And also 5 provinces like Krabi and Chiang Mai and Pattaya. And I'm probably saying that wrong. But they might be scrapping quarantine requirements as of November 1. Now, Vietnam is the last one I'm going to talk about. Vietnam set to reopen its island of Phu Quoc. I again, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. For international tourism in October, they're confident that they will have vaccinated 90% of the island's population by then. So they're going to use a system similar to Thailand that Thailand used to open Phuket. So the visitors are going to need proof of vaccination, negative COVID test. Rest of requirements still unknown at this point. And then if that's successful, the country would reopen other areas of the country right after. Fully vaccinated Russian tourists would be among the first tourists allowed to visit the country, is what they're saying. They've resumed international flights from Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh from June 2nd. So also they came out recently and said by June of 2022, they want to be fully open. Now they're saying by June, so that would be by the latest. And they're going to start off with that island, see how successful that is, and kind of go from there. So there's just a quick update about what's going on in Asia, what it looks like for travel out here. So there are some options, guys, and there are things starting to open up. I do remain hopeful for the Philippines. I think the Philippines is going to kind of follow suit, especially with an election happening here. So give me your thoughts and opinions. Go ahead and comment down below. Thank you guys so much. A link to the article will be down in the description. See you guys next time. Bye.